Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's your boy, Pigskin Pete. Happy Thursday to everybody. Today's going to be a little bit of a different type of video. This is mainly for Clemson fans, and maybe some of you other college football fans will enjoy this too because it's a piece of history. It will definitely hit home with Clemson people like myself and my family. The Clemson Paw, this paw right here. Yeah, it's one of the most iconic symbols in sports, certainly in college sports. For a long time now, it's recognizable to everybody. And there's a lot of other iconic logos out there. I get it. So, I'm not saying Clemson's got the most iconic logo or anything. But to people like me, the paw is special. To people like my family, the paw is special. To a lot of you out there, the paw is special. I learned something today that I did not know. And there's a lot that I don't know. I don't pretend to be some sort of expert on everything Clemson. But the paw itself, the logo itself, it has a birthday this summer. It turns 50 years old. Now, if you would have asked me how old the paw was, the logo for Clemson, I would have told you probably 70 to 80 years because I'm ignorant. And a lot of you know that. I'm 40 years old. To tell me that the paw is only 10 years older than myself, I would not have believed that, but it is true. And there's a great article in, what's the name of this? The University Magazine, Clemson World, written by Tim Barrett. Everybody knows who Tim Barrett is. He's a legend around Clemson. Called The Tiger Paw Turns 50. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you this article word for word. I'm not going to try to paraphrase it. I'm not going to try to put it into my own words. I'm just going to read it to you and paraphrase it. Read it to you word for word. So here you go. It won't take too long. When Hootie Ingram succeeded Frank Howard as head football coach in 1970, he believed the program needed some changes to its image. So he set up a meeting with the sports information director, Bob Bradley, and other administrators. One of the items on the agenda was a logo for the athletics, which had been an image of real tiger for many years. The discussion went up the food chain and eventually reached the desk of University President R.C. Edwards. Edwards was good friends with Clemson alumnus Jim Henderson, founder of Henderson Advertising in Greenville, South Carolina. So he asked him to come up with some ideas. Henderson delegated the design of a new athletics logo to John Antonio, who had spent most of his career with the company working with corporations. He was a part of the team that came up with the Fly the Friendly Skies of United Airlines. Antonio contacted 32 different schools that had a tiger as their mascot. And to this day, there is still a lot of tiger. It might be the most widely used mascot in sports, quite honestly, the tiger. All of them had the same drawing or picture of a live tiger. He wanted something that would make Clemson stand out. One day, Antonio brainstormed a logo and the image of the tiger's foot. He contacted the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago and asked for a plaster of Paris cast of the imprint of a tiger's paw. The print was made of the object. And while local legend holds that the tilt of the paw is because of the 1 p.m. kickoff, if you ever hear Clemson fans talking about the 1 o'clock paw, we get really triggered when we see a car with a sticker on it, right? When it's got the paw sticking straight up at 12 o'clock. It's got to be tilted to 1 o'clock. Right? Because the camera's backwards here. 1 o'clock this way is the real 1 o'clock. But I did 11 o'clock. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. We get real triggered about that. As a matter of fact, we take pictures of it if it's not at 1 o'clock. And we post it all over social media. Anyway. I lost myself here. A print was made of the object. Local legend holds it. They tilt the paw because of the 1 p.m. kickoff during that time. So every game during that time was, at home game was a 1 p.m. kickoff. Apparently the print came away from that museum simply because the angle is the natural turnout of a tiger. So what he's saying in this article, from what I can tell, is it has nothing to do with the 1 p.m. kickoff. It's the way that the tiger's paw goes inwards is what I'm reading from that, or outwards, rather. I don't know, one of the two. In June 1970, Henderson invited Clemson officials, including Howard, who was still the athletic director, to a meeting in which they would unveil the unique logo. Antonio brought the same tangible uses of the paw to the meeting, affixing it to blazers and schedule cars, etc. He even included the mock-up of Death Valley with the tiger paw at midfield and a similar picture on the floor of Little John Coliseum. During the presentation, there was tension in the room. Howard basically showed no reaction, which is kind of ironic for anybody who knows anything about Howard. He was not a very reaction latent guy. I mean, he was a very stone-faced type of guy. So that's not surprising that he didn't have a reaction to it, even if he liked it. But all that changed when Antonio pulled out the orange Clemson helmet from under the desk. He had emblazoned a white tiger paw on it. In those times, it was unusual to have any logo on the college football helmet. That helmet made a big impact on Coach Howard. Then Sports Information Director Bob Bradley recalled years later, he was so impressed he wanted to bring the helmet back to Clemson and show everyone. On July 21st, 1970, Clemson unveiled the tiger paw with the blitz of press conferences around the state, including Florence, Charleston, Columbia, and Greenville, plus trips to Charlotte and Atlanta. The caravan included new head football coach Hootie Ingram, new head basketball coach Tates Locke, all ACC running back Ray Yager, and Wright Bryan, then vice president for development. The group left Greenville-Spartanburg Airport at 7:15 a.m. and returned to Greenville for the final press conference of the day at 5 p.m. Soon after its release, the tiger paw was everywhere. That included being painted on all the highways headed into Clemson. And I'm going to stop here, and hopefully I don't lose my place. One of my favorite memories as a young child, I'm talking about 6, 7 years old, my first time on Clemson's campus, driving up from Charleston, when my sister was a cheerleader at Clemson in the 1986 through 89 time, was it being a small child and driving into Clemson and seeing those huge, bright orange Clemson paws on the highway leading into the school. I thought that was the bee's knees. That'll be a memory that will never leave my head till the day I die. The first time driving into Clemson as a little boy, seeing those paws on the highway. Now I lost my place again. Of course I did. Clemson did not copyright the logo for many years because the theory was to get the paw as much exposure as possible. The tiger paw was finally copyrighted after the 1981 national championship football season. Of course it was. When Clemson merchandise exploded. This year we celebrate 50 years of the tiger paw as one of the most recognizable logos in the nation. It's synonymous with Clemson University and is a tangible source of pride for all Clemson fans. And that is definitely true. All you non-Clemson fans can say whatever you want. The paw is a big deal in Clemson world, especially for lifelong Clemson fans. It's a big deal. Last summer, I traveled to Europe and all over the United States, said Dabo Swinney. Everywhere I went, I ran into people proudly wearing the paw. Again, I want to give credit to this. This article is written by Tim Barrett. University Magazine. Clemson World. There you have it, folks. Happy birthday, Clemson Paw. May we celebrate another 50. And hopefully have a bunch of other national championships in the meantime. Thank you all for joining me, Clemson fans and everybody else. See you soon. Pigskin Pete is checking out.